Good year blimp. Monetization for YouTube. It don't matter. 4218 watch hours. I'm monetized on Buy Me a Coffee, so those numbers don't even make sense no more. Ain't nobody got time for that. Let's just keep it moving straight to the video. Welcome back, Team DWC. It's your boy TWP Popsting, back with another video. Y'all know how we gonna do. We gonna sit here, chill, ride it out. Boom. Let's go to the theater mode. Show y'all how I'm finna put together this new intro. I'm gonna clip him up and get him right.
Come on, man, hang out for me. I got the phone, man. Come on. Wait a minute. I'll stay for a minute, but then I gotta get going.
I understand. If y'all can't watch more than 10 minutes of the video, I understand. Because when I look at my analytics, that's where it say y'all at. Anyways, TWC, y'all know what time it is. 6 p.m. Wednesday, 10 a.m. Saturday, Sunday. What we gonna do? We're gonna do exactly what Smoke a Lot do. We're gonna open up like what?
Like I was Barbara Wolf. Ridiculous. You told me about his lawyer. My mama. Spirituality. If you listen, hell, stand back. I can get a little back together. His love life. I love for this man. You ain't been there. I mean, talk about a guy with an eye.
Anyways, we're gonna go over here to this because guess what? We got a new intro for y'all. It's the same intro, but it's new. For those who know, you know. Let's get into it though. Get into this video.
Mr. Nice Guy was blowing up. We got customers from all over New York. Even so a few percent. Come on in, Mike. Come on, Mike. Nice baby.
He said, "Come on, Mike. Come on in here, Mike. Come on in here, Mike." Welcome to the Trap House. Y'all know how we do TDWC, TWP Popcorn. He said, "Welcome to the Trap House."
As you continue to learn more and more about gardening, you may have come across somebody telling you that 99% of liquid fertilizers are actually water. But is that really true? Is that bottle that you just spent $30, $40, or $50 to pay for mostly water? Are nutrient companies ripping off consumers by selling them mostly water? I sat down with Tim McCormick from Culture Biologics. He has a ton of knowledge when it comes to chemistry, and I asked him this question. Here's what he had to say. This clip is brought to you by Happy Hydro. For all your garden equipment needs, visit happyhydro.com, link is in the video description, and use the discount code MrGrowIt. Alright, first thing, let's dive into powdered nutrients versus liquid fertilizer, right? So many people claim that 99% of the liquid in liquid fertilizer is water. So you're mostly paying for water. My question is, how much liquid fertilizer bottle is water? And is all of that actually required, right? Like I know water needs to be in there so, chemicals don't bind together, unexpectedly and so forth. But is it true that 99% is water? Are companies ripping off consumers by giving excess water in their fertilizer?
That's hard. There's not exactly a clear-cut answer to that. So water suspends, right? Water's a solvent. There's only a certain amount of salt you can put into water till it starts falling out. I mean, imagine you putting in sugar into a glass of water. It's going to dissolve, it's going to dissolve, it's going to dissolve till you put too much in there, and then it's going to start falling out and it won't go into it. So from a chemical point of view, you do need water. You do need other dissolution agents like weak acids and things like that to kind of keep all the salts broken down, to keep everything from binding together, like you said. But commonly, it's like 50 to 80% water usually. I try to keep that on the low end for when I make my liquid formulations. But there's a lot of, the hydroponic industry is taking all these concentrated salts and putting them in the liquid form and diluting them essentially. Powdered salts being as the most concentrated, we do have a smaller amount of salts going into the hydroponics. So most of the time, it is watered down salts. And everybody sells the same general formulations with the same amount of water in it, and it's pretty wasteful, especially when you get to like the shipping end of things. So quick answer, 50 to 80%. Long answer, doesn't always apply to that.
My How to Grow book is linked in the description section below, along with merch. Click the video box on the left for the next clip, or the video box on the right is a clip automatically generated by the YouTube algorithm.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel. In this video, we'll be discussing Grodan. It's a very popular product in the hydroponics field, and I think we've all been using it wrong. Rockwool is sold in a variety of shapes and sizes, most commonly in sheets of small cubes. People typically buy a cube size that will fit their net cut. I've come to realize though that we actually only need a tiny piece of Grodan to grow our plants. We can just as easily use a small fraction of a Rockwool cube and drastically reduce our cost per plant. To start seeds with Grodan, we simply need to get it wet and put our seed on top. Here, I've started with a 1.5-inch Grodan cube and cut it in half over and over again, creating progressively smaller pieces of Rockwool. I'll be attempting to show that we can start seeds and grow plants with even small pieces of Rockwool, and that a full cube is unnecessary. In just a few days, almost all of my lettuce seeds had sprouted. We can see that even the smallest piece of Grodan has a young plant beginning to grow. With access to light, water, and nutrients, all of those lettuce plants grew to maturity. The amount of Rockwool used seems to have had no effect on the overall growth of the plant. When moving a plant into a net cup, the Rockwool cube can help to prevent light leaks. You might only need a few small pebbles on top to prevent leaks entirely. Without as much Rockwool in the mix, we'll need extra clay pebbles to fill our net cup and prevent those light leaks. The good news here is that these clay pebbles are entirely reusable. I try to be extra careful during this process, making sure that the clay pebbles don't crush my plant or the young root system. We also need to be extra cognizant of where our roots are inside of the net cup. We'll want to properly adjust our water levels, as we won't have Rockwool wicking moisture up to the plant. In my opinion, the absolute easiest way to start seeds is to take an ice cube tray with small holes drilled in the bottom of it. You can then plug each of these holes with a small piece of Rockwool. If we set our ice cube tray with access to water, these small pieces of Grodan will wick moisture up to our seeds. From there, we can wait until we have a bunch of healthy young seedlings. Those small pieces of Rockwool will wick up all the moisture that is necessary for your seeds to get started growing. This process and the results you have are very similar no matter what size piece of Rockwool you use, be it a small little piece or a full cube. Using this method, I've been able to get excellent root structures growing on my young seedlings, and a single sheet of Grodan cubes has lasted me like 3 years. I've been able to successfully grow tomatoes, peppers, and cannabis plants using these smaller pieces of rock wool and never had any trouble. I really hope that this tip helps you become more sustainable and save a bit of money. Thanks a lot for watching, and happy harvesting!
G'day, I'm Mark from Self Sufficient Me, and I like experimenting with new ways to recycle materials and grow food crops. In this video, I'm going to not only show you how to grow potatoes in a cardboard box, but also I'm going to show you how to turn this box into worm food, so the whole thing can be used in a sustainable way from start to finish. Let's get into it.
Hold on.
Well, in case you didn't notice, it's pretty gloomy and wet. It's one of those days, and I wanted to get this video done because the potatoes are ready to harvest and I don't want them to rot in the box. And speaking of boxes, we tend to get a steady stream of cardboard boxes through parcel deliveries, etc. So instead of crushing them down and whacking them in the recycling bin for collection, I thought that I would keep one of them, a box that's 60 long by 40 wide and 30 centimetres deep, to grow some potatoes in and see how it goes. I didn't do any special preparation, no lining to protect the box, not even any holes in the base for drainage, as I figured that excess water would just seep through the cracks and the cardboard anyway. I got 500 grams of seed potatoes from the nursery. I filled the box halfway with a premium potting mix, and then evenly spaced the seed potatoes in the box before covering them with a few inches more of the same potting mix. Now, before I go on, I know what some of you are thinking. But Mark, saving money and recycling a cardboard box is all well and good. However, by the time you buy the seed potatoes and premium potting mix, you're looking at about $20. I can buy a kilo of washed potatoes from the supermarket for $3.50. What is the benefit of growing your own? Thanks for the question. Well, besides not being as cheap as chips, and besides recycling, the three main reasons to grow potatoes at home are freshness, variety, and organic. Freshness. There is something special about eating a freshly dug potato. It really is a taste sensation. But have you ever wondered why supermarket potatoes barely last a fortnight in the pantry before going green and inedible? It's because they are already months old. When you grow your own, you can eat them fresh, but you can also store them longer because they are not already months old. Stored correctly, your homegrown potatoes should last for at least 4 months, maybe even longer. The second point is variety. At the supermarket, you have a limited variety of potatoes to buy, usually around 5. But did you know that there are over 5,000 different varieties of potatoes in the world today? It's true. So instead of being limited to what the corporates offer you, grow your own selected varieties and have some variety. These sapphire potatoes are purple even after cooking, which makes them aesthetically pleasing on the eye, especially if you like the colour purple, which I happen to. And it's not just a pigmentation, it also signifies that the potato, or any purple vegetable for that matter, are full of cancer-fighting antioxidants. So they are actually very good for us, and these particular potatoes are also very tasty. What a bonus. The last thing about growing your own is the organic side of things. You know how they are grown. There's no pesticides, no in-store residual chemicals from fumigation, no storage in plastic bags, just pure, fresh, organic, homegrown potatoes. Now, let's get back to growing them in this cardboard box. After a week, the potatoes started to grow through the potting mix. I kept the watering up mostly daily since we are heading into our subtropical summer, and technically it's a bit hot and late to be growing potatoes here. Just over 2 weeks, the potato plants had grown big enough to backfill. Backfilling potato plants can help to produce more potatoes if the plants start rooting from those newly covered stems. And considering the time of year wasn't ideal for potatoes, the plants grew quite well over the next 6 weeks before the pests and the heat started getting hold of them. And here we are, exactly 8 weeks later, after I first planted them in this box. So let's remove the box and see what type of harvest we get. What I'll do is I'll snip off these stems first, because we don't need them anymore. Right, that's that. And now I'll show you a really cool trick. Well, I've never done this before, but let's see if it works. I'm going to slide the box up and it should just reveal the dirt inside. Ta-da! You can actually see a few potatoes just on the outside here. And now let's just smash this down. Okay, they're fairly small so far anyway. They are nice. We'll weigh these soon, but for now, we'll put them in here. Tiny one there. I'll make sure I don't miss any. There we go. Well, by the looks of it, I think we've got our money back. Now I'm going to reuse all this potting mix. I'm going to put it into a garden bed. One last one, I think. I'll just go through a little bit more of a look, but I think that's about it. Let's weigh it and see what we got from our 500 grams. Put the potatoes back in. They are spectacular looking though. $15.90. So yeah, nearly 1,600. Well, that's at least 3 times the amount of what we planted. So we got our 500 back and then another kilo on top of it, which is not too bad, but it's not great either. Let's get this now into a garden bed so we've got that full cycle. Found another potato. In case you're wondering, the base is of course just sodden, rotten materials. That'll compost down, that'll just disappear in the garden bed pretty much in a couple of weeks. Oh, g'day. I'm Mark from the future, and I just thought I'd jump in this video right now and let you know that those potatoes were really nice to eat. They weren't as purple as I expected they would be. They had a tinge of purple, and why was that? Well, I think it was because it was grown at a hotter time of the year. If I grew them through winter here in the subtropics, I reckon they'd get purpler on the inside. So I've saved some of the smaller potatoes, and what I've done is I've put them in this box and I've covered them over with some potting mix. I'm going to stick them in the shed, and then in about 3 months' time, in autumn, as we're going into winter, we will let them grow, and hopefully they'll grow longer. Instead of 8 weeks, 12 to 16 weeks, they'll grow more and they'll grow purpler. Well, that's the theory. I love experimenting. especially with food crops. But anyway, let's see how it goes. And now back to Mark in the present. All right, because the box is so weathered, that will easily break up and compost down into the garden bed. I won't do the plastic here, but I'll compost the cardboard seed packet. I'll put that in the recycling. I'll just part the mulch a bit here. It's already full of worms. The worms will start eating it. I don't need to bury it too deep. It's not that big of a deal. Just make a trench. I don't have to get too particular actually, because that'll just completely rot down. Fill that back over. I'll be able to plant on this pretty much right away. Gosh, look at the size of this fella. It's like a snake. Look at him. What a ripper. What a beauty. Put him back in the garden bed. You eat that cardboard up, buddy. And now I'll just empty all this potting mix out. Because it's a premium potting mix, there's still some goodness in this. Smooth that all out. And that'll make a really good garden bed. Cardboard and all. Look, I would have loved to have given you the wow factor of a ton of potatoes in a cardboard box like that. But it's the principle that...
We'll keep it moving. Here is cost.
To step into the light.
But Metropolis was only granted a short reprieve. And despite the intervention of Superman and the Justice League, there seems to be no end in sight.
Yes, but we're putting considerable strain on my baby.
Justice League.
Well, hello. Sorry, Boy Wonder. I'm putting an end to your little reconnaissance mission.
We will make our own fun, as we have been trained. Maneuver 7.
My baby. I can't see you, Martian, but perhaps I'll hear you scream.
And perhaps I can be of some assistance.
Stop! Please? Now that's what I call
So she ain't here. Those are Simon kids.
got it under control.
What happened? Good kitty. How would you say it? Perfect. Say it for me, kitty. Say, perfect. Perfect. You can go now. What the fu-
Not yet, Ivy.
Since I can't control you, maybe I'll finish our deal another way. Well, look who's here. Wondered when you'd find me.
I've come back to you.
Have you now?
No one can resist you. And why would they want to?
That's so true, kitty. But no one fakes it with me.
Okay, crazy plant bitch. It's on.
Nose filters? What am I going to do with you, kitty? Oh, I know. Is Batman your new boy toy? I have one too.
Stay away from her.
She done took over Superman.
You heard my Superman. Lover.
Poison Ivy's bad with it.
Kill them.
Won't kill.
Are you trying to resist?
Always.
Seems my kryptonite kisses need a touch-up.
No, he was
Find
like
them.
Batman gone in half a second.
Kill them.
Yes.
Help these days.
I wouldn't get too comfortable if I were you.
Shit.
In the green team. That's a little something for later.
Yeah, that's right, Christelle. Fresh Karma Dispensaries is one of those groups. They sell medical marijuana to people who have a card here. One of their workers said it would be fun, for instance, if recreational marijuana was legal in the state.
We think it's something that's exciting and new. We think Missouri is potentially ready for that new market.
Fresh Karma Director of Marketing Jericho He says his business has spent more than a year in the medical marijuana market, and he supports the legalization of recreational marijuana. Missouri U.S. Senator Josh Hawley, who supported medical marijuana, is against recreational, though, calling it terrible policy.
We now have a lot of data on marijuana use because we've got years of it being studied, and we've seen study after study show that as it builds up in the body, and it does tend to linger, it appears over time, that it has detrimental long-term health effects. It is a gateway drug, that is true.
Hawley's joined by the Missouri Association of Prosecuting Attorneys in his stance. Platte County Prosecuting Attorney Eric Zahn opposed the Cannabis Freedom Act, citing Colorado and the results that state has seen since the legalization of recreational marijuana.
We've seen tremendous increases in the number of fatalities from marijuana-induced driving. We've seen children show up in emergency rooms in unprecedented numbers, having mistakenly ingested marijuana edibles.
We take that as a challenge. In the state of Missouri, you know, we've been very prepared so far with all of the obstacles within cannabis. I think the state's done a great time, a great job of regulating it. I think the owners have done a great job so far of participating in that regulation. I think the consumers are starting to understand and see that too. So I think it's time for, us to be able to take that challenge ourselves and see what we can do.
Now, that court hearing in Jeff City is still going on right now. Our Capitol Bureau reporter Emily Manley is still in the courtroom. Voters would have to approve of the amendment vote in November for recreational marijuana to be legal in the state of Missouri. John?
right, Team WC. So for today, the end of our videos from here on out, y'all know we're gonna have us a custom outro. Let's see if I can get this right. Boom.
Want us to know, because then we'd buy all the water. Then there'd be nothing left to drink but beer. And the government knows that beer will set us free.
Alright, so y'all remember to go to the home page, go down to playlists. See what I'm saying? Check out our video sponsor. We got a Team DWC video sponsor. The playlist is right there. Then on the home page, you see we got our popular uploads, our shorts.
Tell us about the car 1,000,000 times. Can you please talk about how hungry and horny I am?
Anyways, I'll leave that playing in the back with no sound. Yeah, but anyways, like I was saying, on our main page, check out the video sponsors. You know, we got them up here, posted up. Shouts out to Brother Azim, James Gype, TSM. Hell yeah. We also got the Green Tables, Spidey Pig, and the backup NFG channel. Y'all know how we get down over there. Then we also got Blind Guy, his wife, Rich New Design, and Triple B's Farms. You know, all of our video sponsors is now officially on our channel and in the video description. Y'all make sure y'all hit the bottom little arrow down there to hit the video description to see all this information I'm showing y'all right here on the channel. But y'all know how we do. We gonna stop by the trap houses. Always gotta remind y'all to hit up the Buy Me a Coffee. Check us out on the YouTube. Like I said, the YouTube sponsor playlist is all of the sponsors of the channel's content. So y'all make sure y'all hit that up. But here's the Team WC sponsor playlist. Triple B, Blind Guy, Zine. I think we need to add another Green Table video, but they in there. Boom, Green Table Podcast. Yep. Y'all know what time it is. And of course, the Buy Me a Coffee. Y'all know y'all should be supporting that. Probably gonna start doing a weekly monetization stream so y'all get monetized, so y'all can get the benefits that I'm getting from using the site. I ain't gonna show y'all too much before we go. You know, I don't want to hold y'all up too long, but y'all know that this is what y'all want to see right here.